Zok the Gemara. We're in Kuf Aleph, Amr Aleph, down from the top around 15 lines. First word on the line is Tachtoisei, Tachtusai, Tachtusayu. The Gemara says, so that's why the Reish Lakish's din is that the Yachloku between the Bala Zaysim and the Bala Karka is for the first 3 years only, because even though each one would have a taina to allow them to be eating from the beginning all the way through, but since the Bala Karka has like one last taina that says why it's disadvantageous for those trees to be on his land and to be blocking him, because he could have used that land, he would have planted smaller trees and we would have been able to plant vegetables in the meantime. So therefore, that gives him the right to eat during those first 3 years, and the Bala Zaysim doesn't have the right to eat after those first 3 years. But the Gemara says, Tana, we have a brisa that says, you have it? You have it? Omar Hola, Zaysaya ani noita, in Shomela. So if the owner of the Zaysim, the trees, the olive tree says, if you want to be splitting, if you want to force me to split with you, I'll just take the trees away. So we don't let him. You don't let him, after they've taken root, you don't let him take the trees away. It's my time, why not? Omar Ra, Rebbe Yochanan, Mishum, Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. Because we don't want Eretz Yisrael to be dug up and torn apart. We want it to be nice, the trees to have a chance to root, get deep roots. We don't want that the lands are pitted, and the trees are all weak. We want it to be strong and healthy in every way. Omer Rabbi Yirmiyah, K'goyin da sricha rabba. To learn a brisa like that, you would have to hear that is a chiddush. To tell us that we wouldn't allow him to uproot the trees just because of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, that is, we would have to be told, we would never know it from Sforah. Tanan, we learn in the Mishnah, Tanan Hasam, which is in Masechtas Demai. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Hamikabel Sode Stay Avoisai Min Hanachri. Maisa v'noisin lo. Person who he's like a sharecropper. He's receiving like a field, and he's supposed to work it, harvest it, and give half to the owner. He's makabel it. Rashi, he's receiving half of it. He's just receiving half of it, like from a goy. Rashi says, where we on the Gemara up about 9 lines, he's makabel. He's receiving half of the field. Meiser, he has to meiser it techila first. Call it tavu, whatever tavu is there, because he's only receiving half of it. Va'achar kach noisein lo lenachri, he's receiving it from a nachri, a land which was of his Abba side. He's receiving it from a nachri, half of it, and before he has to first take meiser, and then noise, and then va'achar kach noisein lo lenachri chelko. Then he gives the nachri his half. So he's taking meiser from the whole field. So there's also the meiser from the side of the nachri he's taking up, and then they're splitting it between both of them, and so the yid is going to end up with less because he meisered the whole field and then split it. And that was because it was a field in Eretz Yisrael where there's a chiyuv meiser, and the nachri wouldn't have taken meiser, but the yid has a chiyuv. And so if he's receiving it, he has to do it that way. So Avrua, they thought, what do we mean by stay avoisad? So Avrua, my stay avoisad, Eretz Yisrael. So they were understanding that stay avoisad just means it's the land in Eretz Yisrael, and that's why he's having to take meiser. Why are they calling it stay avoisad then? he's receiving it from a goy and he's splitting it. Why is it called stay avoisad? Stay Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. That's what we meant. But it's really just the land in Eretz Yisrael. It's called stay avoisad because it's the land of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And so then why? So then why is he? So we see over here. Why is he taking Meiser and then giving the portion to the goy? Because it must be that the portion that the goy received, he was kaina, but it wasn't mafkia the chiyuv Meiser from it, and that's why the yid felt he still had to take the Meiser on the whole field and then divide it in half, because the part that the goy acquired wasn't mafkia the chiyuv Meiser off of it. So the kisova. Ein kinyan lenachri be'eretz Yisrael lafkia miyad ma'aser. That there's no kinyan a goy when he will acquire land in Israel doesn't take off the chiyuv ma'aser. So it's like they're not kaina. And we'll say someone who receives it is going to have the same din as a sharecropper. Umekabel kechoiker dami. Just as a sharecropper would, that if he would end up in Eretz Yisrael, get a field from a goy and have to work it and give the goy a certain amount. So they stipulate in the beginning how much the owner of the field would receive. He has to give it to him. He has to pay that amount. When he pays that amount at the end of the year, he can't have a field which is tevel, which is chayav meiser, and pay what he owes to the bala sodeh from tevel. He has to first take the meiser off and then pay the bala sodeh. You can't pay from tevel. You have to pay from, if you're paying something, if you have a chiyuv to pay, then you have to pay from that which is not, there's no chiyuv on it. So that's the din by the sharecropper. The same thing we're understanding would be by a makabel. It would have the same din. If you have to give half to the other person who's the goy, then you can't give him his half and have part of it be tevel. You have to give him a clean half. So that's what the Gemara is saying. Makabel kechoiker dami. Ma choiker bein obad v'bein lo abad boy asure. That it doesn't matter whether or not the land produced a lot or a little. If he's going to be paying something to the other person, he's going to have to first take off the meiser and then pay it. Rashi, where we are in the Gemara, up about 9 lines. Maybe there's no Rashi. Right, it's up. We're maybe about 15 lines. Mikabel lemechsa. So the Mikabel is getting half of the field, and he's going to be like a choiker dami, like a sharecropper. Ki'ilu mikablo b'kach b'kach koivin. A sharecropper gets it, and he's going to have to pay back a certain amount. L'shana. Bein oisei, bein eno oisei. Whether it produces or not, that's how much he's going to have to give back. When he's paying back, he has to give back. A choiker has to give back. Not from tevel. So machoker bein obad bein lo obad, whether it produced that amount or not, he has to take meiser from it before, whether he produced the amount that he was supposed to pay or he didn't produce the amount that it was supposed to pay. Whatever he will be giving from the field, he has to take meiser first. The meitan lay and give it to him. The chi poireya, when it's a payment. Because this makabel who has to give the portion to the second person, that's going to, or by a choki, by a sharecropper, it's like a payment. All payments have to not be from tevel. So af makabel, so to a person who's going to dividing the produce, dividing the field, when he gives the other person the second portion, it has to be like a payment and not from tevel. So af makabel nami ki pareya choivaso dami. It's like so that's why he has to take meiser first. Keep poreach chovaso dami. So he has to meiser. First take meiser and then pay, because that's the way you pay from a field. That has to not be from tevel. Omalei Rav Kahana, the Rav Poppy. So he said, the Omrei law, the Rav Zvid. Some said in the name of Rav Zvid, Elaha. If we look at this brisa, Right. Because we just had a brisa above that said that in the case that we were talking about from our Mishnah, that he wanted to take his zaysim away, and we were told a big chiddush from that brisa that you can't because Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. So the Gemara brought another Mishnah in what is also going to from the Mai, that was also going to be a big chiddush that we needed to be told. We wouldn't have never known it from Sforah. So some said in the name of Rav Zvid. Elahad Tanya, we learn in a brisa. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Hamekabel's stay avoisai mimatzik. Someone who would get a field of his avoisai from a guy who steals fields. He's a matzik. He steals matzik nochri. He steals fields from people. So what do you have to do? He got half of that field from one of these types of people. So what does he have to do when he splits the field? Meiser v'noisen lo. He has to meiser it and then give the goy the other part. So my area matzik. Why does it say someone who received a field stay avoisai from a matzik, from a person who steals land? What do we care? Why do we have to mention such a person? It should be any guy that he's getting half of it and he has a split with him. He should be taking meiser first. He should even have to do that. Why does it say over there in that price that if he's a matzik, he's a ganav type person that is splitting the land with him, that he has to take meiser first? We have to say that with other regular people that aren't ganavim, that you don't have to worry about the meiser before splitting it with him. And it's only with a type of a ganav, a gangster, that you have to worry about taking meiser first. A regular person, who's a goy, he has a kinyan. When he's koine Eretz Yisrael, a land in Eretz Yisrael, it's mafkia the chiyuv meiser. And even if it wasn't really mafkia, even if he was would only have the din of a right. So he's not. Right, as Gemara is going to explain. Elo'ilam yesh kinyan. Therefore, we see that there is a kinyan lenachri be'eretz Yisrael afkia miyad ma'aser. That there is, and that's why we mention a matzik specifically. You have to take ma'aser, but other people you don't have to. Rashi says where we are in the Gemara, up about 20 lines in the Rashis. Yesh kinyan. There's a kinyan for a goy of land in Eretz Yisrael. V'inami ain kinyan. And even if there would be no kinyan of a goy in Eretz Yisrael, still this yid with a regular person, when dividing with a regular person, he would not have to first take meiser on all of both halves of the land. V'inami ein kinyan mekabel, a person who just receives the land, love kichoiker dami. He's not really. We would say that a mekabel is not like a sharecropper. Person who has to split with somebody else is not like a sharecropper that is working and has to pay a certain amount to the owner of the land. And since he's not like a sharecropper, then the other half, the ein maitel olav liftor chelkol shel nachri. Therefore, he's not obligated to take care of the half of the nachri, make sure that it's not tevel, because it's not payment what he's giving him. It's just the chelik of the other person. So he's not obligated. Since it's not payment, you can give it tevel. Lo pareya choivosohu. It's not considered giving the nachri his half is not called paying him. Shebirishus hanachri gadol, because any produce that grew over there, it just grew in the nachri's half, in the goy's half. So here we're seeing that yesh kinyan, because with it's mashma from this price that if he's splitting with regular people, not a matzik, not a ganav, a gangster, he doesn't have to take the meiser. Only by a gangster he has to take the meiser. Yesh kinyan l'nachri be'eretz Yisrael lavkia miyad meiser in the Gemara. And mekabel lo kechoiker dami, and mekabel therefore is not like a choiker because it's not payment. At first we thought a mekabel is like a choiker, that just as a choiker it's poreya dami, but it's not. We see here that it's not, that splitting with somebody, giving him his half, is not like paying somebody. you can give him tevel because it's any produce that grew in his chelik. So why do we call it stay avoisai? But my stay avoisai. And for the Gemara, stay avoisai of mamish. The reason is here, in the case of the matzik, it says someone who receives land, it's makabel land from a matzik, stay avoisai. We mean it's really his father's. The matzik had stolen it from his father's, is coming back to him somehow. Someone's offering him half. So it's stay avoisai of mamish. Ulididei, who tikansur rabbanin. That, and here we're seeing that with a person like this, he's the person who has to take meiser before splitting it with the matzik. But like we said, all the other types of people, he wouldn't have to take meiser for the reason we explained. And it's like a kanas. So they ask, like, why are they kanasing this person whose his father's field was stolen? Now he's getting half of it back. To Iri, the chaviva olay to fate, the ozul mekabala. That since he loves his land so much, he realizes it's in the family, it was his father's. He will be mishtadel for this land, meaning he will. If we have to make him, the kanas is not because he did anything wrong, as Rashi explains. It's not because he did a chet that he has to be kanas for. It's because he won't easily let go of this land because it was in the family. So we make it hard for him that the other person should have the other half. And we said you have to take meiser even on part which is not yours. So that way he'll be mishtadel to buy the other half from the matzik, who that's what he wants anyway. The matzik wants money, and then he'll possess the whole land. But otherwise, if we made it easy for him, he might just settle for that half. But by making it hard for him, we want that whole half put back in his family. We want him to be mishtadel for that. But another person who has no real connection with the land, we don't kanas him for a matzik because he probably won't be mishtadel to pay for that other half. About inish alma low. So the Gemara asks, my time a kansua, Rabbana, why did they give him a kanas? He didn't do anything wrong. So that it should be clear in his hand, so he should get the whole land in his hand. He should be mishtadel to pay for the other half and get all the land clearly in his possession. And that's what we brought this down for, because that is a big chiddush, that we can kanas a person, and one type of person and not the other type of person for not having done anything wrong, just that we want the land to be kept in his family. And that we would need to be told, and we could never learn that from Sfor. Sricha Rabba. We need to be taught that, and we can never learn that. Stam from Sfor. Itmar. Hayorid l'toich stei chavera, someone who comes into the field of somebody else, v'nota shelo b'rishus, and he starts planting trees without being asked. So he benefited the Bala Soda. So Omar Rav, Shamin lo v'yoda Bala Tachtana. The person planted did not have any right to do this, but now the Bala Soda it benefited because now he has trees. So Rav told him the Bala Soda has to pay the person who planted the trees, the amount, but the Bala Soda gets an advantage because the yad of the one who planted them is ala tachtana. We look at the expenses of what it costs to plant these trees, and we look at the shvach of what it benefited the field, the owner of the field. Whichever one is less than we make, that's what he has to pay the person who planted the trees. So it's like a good deal. It's like you're getting trees for a good price because you're getting it at this cheap rate. For example, if the benefit is field by $100 and the expenses to plant them was only $50, he's only paying $50, so he's gaining. Why wouldn't he want to do it? So it's to his advantage. It's an advantage for the person who owns the field. But Shmuel Omar, Oimdin Kama Adam Rotzi Litain Besoda Zulin Toya. No, you don't look at, you look at how much it would be normal to plant a tree like this in his field, and Himamish has to pay the person who planted it, Shalot Birshus, that amount, which seems to be a larger amount of money. It's not such an advantage here for the Bala Soda. Omer of Papa, really below Peligi. There's no machlokas between Rav and Shmuel. So why does Rav say we just see which is less, the shvach or the hoitzah? And Shmuel says you pay like it would normally be, would the normal cost to plant, how much a person would be willing to plant a tree in his field. Omar Papa below Peligi kan bisode asui linota. Kan bisode she'en asui linota. Shmuel is talking about a field that's normally planted. So therefore, it's what people do with their fields, and that's what it's even the owner of the field will eventually plant it, and that's what he has the field for. So therefore, if he now has a tree in it, he should pay how much it would cost him to plant a tree, because he got a tree planted for him. And Rav said you just take the cheaper cost, and because that's a field that's not normally planted, so you can't. Therefore, we are just going to give the Bala Karka an advantage, because we can't say for you would have been planting a tree there anyway. So pay for it the normal price of planting a tree. And that's the difference between them. But they would really agree. Rav would agree that if it was a field that was a suyili nota, that he would also have to pay, like Shmuel said, and Shmuel would agree with Rav. In fact, the Rav love the fair she'itmar. When Rav said his din that you pay the yodo ala tachtona, the one who planted the tree, his hand is ala tachtona. He doesn't state that clearly. We only derive it from something else that he said. Lo beferish itmar, ela b'michlala itmar. We derive it. Dehahu de osa likme de Rav. Someone came in front of Rav, Omalei, and with this type of a case, after someone had planted a tree in his rishus, and he told him, Omalei zil shumle, go. Like the owner of the field came to Rav and told him somebody planted a tree in my rishus. I want him to get it out of there. So Rav told him, go and estimate all the costs. And then you will, that's all he said. Go estimate how much it cost him. So Amalei, lo bi'ina. He said, I don't want the tree in my rishus. So Rav told him, Amalei, zil shumle, the other ala tachtana. Go and estimate all of his costs and the shvach, how much you gain from it. And he'll take his yard will be l'tachtaina, and you will have the good price. You'll have it for a good price. He told him, I don't want the tree there. Amalei lo be'ina, I don't want it. The soif, so they left it there. The soif chazaya digadra v'kol minater lo. In the end, they saw that he put a fence around the tree, and he was mamish guarding the tree. He saw that he liked the tree there. So then Amalei goli sadaitech denichalach. We see that you really like the tree. So zil shumle v'yodo ala elyona. Go and estimate how much it costs to put a tree in, and pay him the higher amount, and he will have the higher price. Meaning, if the expenses of the hoitzos are more than the shvach, he'll get his hoitzos back, and if the shvach to your land is higher than the hoitzos, you'll give him that amount. And that's where we derive Rav's din, that if a person would do such a thing, that estimated right away, and the yad of the person who planted it will be ala tachtoina, right? So itmar, because the Bala Karka all calls man that the Bala Karka didn't show that he was nicha to it. Right there, itmar hayored letoich churvosa shel chaver, the bona shel b'shusa. So we just had before the case of someone planting a tree in the field of somebody else, but here a person comes and finds on a person's property an old house that's broken down, churva, and he fixed it up. He was mishapetz it. He's bona it, and he was without reshus. He did this. For Omarlo atzev abnei ani noitel, and he went up to the Baal Avais and said, "I'm taking all my materials back after having been mishapetz. So I'm taking my wood and my stones." Omar Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman Omar Shomilo. You let him take it. Take what you want. Take your materials back. Nobody ever asked you to build it anyway. Do what you want. Take it back. Rav Sheshes Omar Ein Shomilo. No, he can't take it back. Once he built it, he has to leave it there. In fact, the Gemara. Rashi doesn't speak about it. In fact, the Gemara Mesaveh We have a brisa that says, Reb Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, in the name of Reb Shimon ben Gamliel says, as a memra, Beis Shammai Omrim Shomila. Beis Shammai says that we do let him take his materials back. Beis Hillel Omrim Ein Shomila. Beis Hillel says he can't. We don't listen to him. Mamish Beis Shammai seems to be, Rav Nachman seems to be like Beis Shammai. He let him take it back, and Rav Sheshes seems to be like Beis Hillel. Shomila. Lema Rav Nachman to Omar ki Beis Shammai. What, Rav Nachman holds like Beis Shammai? We don't pass him like Beis Shammai. How can Rav Nachman and Amora be holding like Beis Shammai when Beis Hillel is cholik on Beis Shammai? The Gemara says he doesn't really hold Beis Shammai from the Memra, from the Brisa of Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. Who the Omar ki Haitana? He's going like a different Tana because there's another Brisa of a different Tana. The Tana we learn Shoymilo. There's a different Tana that learns Shomilo, and he doesn't learn it in the form of machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. He just says Shomilo. We let the person take his rocks and stones back, and that's who Reb Nachman is going like, that Tana. Divrei Reb Mishim ben Elazar. It's quoted in the name of Reb Mishim ben Elazar. But the price of the Reb Mishim ben Gamliel brought down was the machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. But Reb Nachman wasn't going according to that price. He was going according to this other price that said Shomilo. Reb Mishim ben Gamliel Omer, Beis Shammai Omrim Shomilo. Beis Hillel Omrim Ein Shomilo. So what's the psak? Lagabi this house. Can he take back his materials or not? My heavy Yola. Omer Rav Yaakov, Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Mibayis Shomilo. We had the two cases. We had a person who came into somebody else's rishus and planted a tree, and we have this other case that someone who improved the churva of somebody else without rishus. So l'gabi the churva, b'bayis shomim la. We hold the mamish hold like Beis Shammai or like Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, brisa. That we do let him take back his beams and his rocks, and his bricks. But b'soda. Gabi the soda, when somebody planted without rishus, ain't shomilo. If he wants to take his trees back, we don't let him take his trees back. Ain't shomilo. The soda, my timer. What's the reason why we don't let him take his trees back? Mishum yishuv Eretz Yisrael. We don't want people digging up Eretz Yisrael, ruining the trees and ruining the land. You're supposed to leave everything as it is. So ikda amrei mishum kichisha da'ara. Some say it's because it weakens the land by doing that, uprooting trees. What's the difference between the two reasons, whether it's because of Eretz Yisrael or whether it's because the soil gets weakened? Ma benayu, ik benayu chutz la'aretz. The difference between would be that in Eretz Yisrael, so we see that if a person wanted to take back his trees, we wouldn't let him. If we say like because of the Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. And in chutz la'aretz, we would let him take out his trees, uproot his trees. And if the Baal Karka didn't want to pay him for them, and he would just be able to take them back. But if we say it's because it depletes the land, it ruins the soil, it ruins the land, weakens it, so then it wouldn't matter. Even in chutz la'aretz, we wouldn't let this person uproot his trees. So at the Halakha Mishnah, we have a new Mishnah. Hamaskir bayis lechaver, someone who rents out a house to somebody, b'yimosa agishamim. He rents it out during the months, the winter months. Enu yochel lo tzio min hachag ba'ad hapesach. That the maskir, if it comes, the end of the schirus, he can't kick him out, and during the period from Sukkos to Pesach. But in the if he rents it out during the winter, summer months, shloshim yom. So then the only amount of time that you have to keep him in there and you can't kick him out, I think we're talking about here that he rented out Stam. Stam's schirus were taking on his 30 days. So if he rented him out without stating how much time he was going to be renting during the winter months, and the 30 days ended, you still can't kick him out. You can't say, oh, your schirus ended, and get out. He would be able to stay there all the way until Pesach. This is like if there was no contract that they had. This is like we said, this is going on Stam when nothing was spoken out. And in the summer, you could, if nothing was spoken out and he rented during the summer months and 30 days ended and nothing had been spoken out, you could kick him out. You could say your schirus ended and kick him out in the summer months. In a big urban metropolis, if somebody rented a house from somebody else, doesn't matter. If the person rented Stam in a big city, and now 30 days ended, and the masker thinks that it's finished, the schirus is ended, and he wants to kick him out, he can't kick him out. He has to leave him in there for a whole year, 12 months. If 1 month passes, he has to wait another 11 months before being able to kick him out. We'll see why, because in the cities, it's very dense population, and it's hard to find, therefore there's so many people, it's hard to find apartments. So to kick a person out, he won't be able to find a new apartment, so you can't kick him out. I guess there's like an understanding in that way, because it's that type of dense living, that if a person is renting, that he doesn't want to be out on, doesn't want to just be kicked out after 30 days, because everyone knows it's hard to find a new apartment. So that goes along with it. It's like the masker should have understood that also. If a person rented a store in general, not just in a city, big city, is even in like a village. Echad doesn't matter. Echad ayarois ve'echad krochim, doesn't matter if it's the smaller cities or the big metropolis. Shnei maser chodesh, the rental with wasn't spoken out is 12 months, and after 30 days, the master still can't kick them out, and has to wait another 11 months. The reason is because Rashi explains that a store, they give out merchandise on credit, and the people pay them throughout the year, and sometimes a long time. And if they would get kicked out and relocate, the people wouldn't know how to find them, and it would cause a loss to the Bala Chenvedi, and also the people wouldn't be able to pay back their chodesh. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Omer, Chanus shel nachtumim v'shel tzibayim shlosh shanim, that a store that sells bread or that sells maybe it dyes the materials for making clothing, it's 3 years, because these are like staples, these are commodities that people need every day, and so they build up a big credit for it. On it, every day they come and take another loaf of bread, and it's on credit. So you have to give them more time for people to pay back, to get around to paying back their loans, their debts. So the more why did we say the Yimosa Geshomim is 30 days? Stam, they didn't speak it out. And if the Yimosa Geshomim is all the way until Pesach, from Sukkot until Pesach, he has to wait. If he rented it sometime during that Kufa, he has to wait all the way until Pesach to be able to kick him out. Ma'ashana Yimosa Geshomim. The Chi'ora Inish Beisa B'Yimosa Geshomim. Why did we say that when a person rents a house for the winter, he rents it for the whole winter, and that's what's expected? Yimosa Chama Nami. The Chi'ora Inish Beisa L'Chulu Yimosa Chama. Maybe we should say the same thing. During the summer months, he's renting it. If a person rents a house, he wants to rent it for the whole summer, all the summer period. Why is there a difference? Why do we say that when he rents in the summer, he's renting for 30 days, and when he rents in the winter, he's renting for the whole summer, all the summer months, all the way until Pesach? And for the Gemara, Illa b'Yimosa Geshamim, the reason is because in the Yimosa Geshamim, Hainu Taima, the reason why it's considered for the whole, he gets to stay there. The rental is for that amount, the whole winter Kufa. Taima Delo Shchiach Beisel Megar. There's not many apartments available in the winter, and therefore he'll be stuck without a place to live. So the Gemara says, if you look at the sefer of this Mishnah, Ema Sefer, B'krochim, we give, and we say it's a whole year a person rents for. Echad Yimosa Chama, doesn't matter. The summer is the same as the winter. Echad Yimosa Chama, Echad Yimosa Gishamim. Shneim Aser Chodesh, it doesn't matter. See, so if in a place like that, the time period is the same, so then why should it be exactly equal? More says, Ve'ilu Molule Yemei Schirus, Yimosa Gishamim, Mapikle. So if it says it doesn't matter, you're supposed to give a person 12 months. So what happens if after the 12 months ends, it's in the middle of the winter? Because it's always the same. Whenever the person rents a house in the Krochim, he has 12 months basically. So then you won't be able to kick him out. What happens if the end of the 12 months ends in the middle of the winter? I mean, it doesn't really matter whether it's the winter or the summer, but here I guess it does. If it ends in the middle of the winter, where it's hard to find a dira, what do? You obviously it's mashma, you just kick him out. You're allowed to kick him out. Mapikle. Why should you be able to kick him out? Lo shchiach beis lemega. We said before that it's not easy to find an apartment, but it's mashma that in a krachim, where the summer is the same as the winter, all you have to do is wait 12 months and then you can kick him out, even if that 12 months ends in the middle of the winter. So why aren't we worried there in the sefer of the Mishnah about that it's difficult to find a place to rent? Amar Rav Yehuda lahodia katani. We're not talking about these time periods that we're talking about, like 30 days or 12 months, is not the amount of time that the person has to stay in the apartment. It's the amount of time that the masker has to inform the soicher before kicking him out. So in a krachim, doesn't matter whether it's the summer or the winter, if a person rents and the master wants to kick him out, he has to inform the person a year in advance. Whereas in the summertime, if the person wants to kick him out, he has to inform him 30 days. The Gemara is going to explain. This is the way we're supposed to learn the Mishnah. Hamaskir buys the chavero stam, without spelling out how much time he's renting it for. Ein yochel laotzio, he can't kick him out. B'yimosa geshomim, during the winter months, mechag v'ad Pesach, from Sukkot until Pesach. Eleim ken hodiu shloshim yom miikar, unless he tells him 30 days in advance. I guess that means that even if he rented it out, like during that kufa, if he would tell him 30 days in advance, he would be able to kick him out right in the middle of the winter also. But if he doesn't give him that advance notice, the person will be able to stay on in the apartment all the way until Pesach. Tanya Namihachi, we have a brisa that supports this idea. Kisha Amru Shloshim, when they said 30 is Kisha Amru Shloshim. When they said in 30, the Kisha Amru Shnei Maser Chodesh, and when it was mentioned 12 months, so we want to point out that doesn't mean the amount of time that they're allowed to stay renting. Rather, it means the time of how much time in advance you have to notify the person. Lo amru ela lo diu. That's the amount of time that you have to be modia the soicher before kicking him out. Kishem shem maskir tzarich lo yedia, just as the maskir has to give them advance notice before he's going to kick them out. Kach soicher tzarich lo yedia. The soicher has to inform the maskir before leaving, 30 days before leaving. To Omar Le, Dosan, if you had informed me, I could have found somebody else. I could have bought somebody else fitting to rent the apartment if you had told me in advance. Omar Rav Asi. If if their person came one day into the winter months, Eno yochol lo tziu min hachag v'ad Pesach. Says you can't, once he rented during those months, you can't kick him out from Sukkot until Pesach. But the Gemara, Bahanan shloshim yom kama. We just said that if he gives him 30 days advance notice, he can kick him out. Hochi kama. This is what he meant. Im nichnas yom echad yimosa geshamim. If he started renting one day into that tukuf, into that period during those winter months, mahani shloshim yom, then giving it advance notice of 30 days advance notice will help him. No, what it means is, no, what we meant to say is, Havi Kamar, im nechnas yom echad b'yimosa geshamim, mahani shloshim yom. If one of the days, let's say that he gave him advance notice to get him out, but the advance notice is one of those days, the last day was one of those days of the winter months. So Eino Yochel Tzio. Then since one of those days was part of the winter months, the advance notice, he can't kick him out. Min hachag v'ad Pesach. Rashi, where we are on the Gemara, down about 6 lines. Lodia, Katani, we're talking about just being modia the person in advance 30 days. Hanach shloshim, the Yud Beis Chodesh, these time periods is the advance notice that has to be given. The Katani, the Mas Nisin, Lodia Komar, that's the inform. Lodia Komar, Hamaschir, Bayis Lechavero, Kol Yumei HaSchirus B'Yemoisa Geshamim, if the Schirus would end in the winter months, Einu yochel tzio, we can't just kick him out onto the street when the schirus ends. Mishum delo shchichei bat, because it's not easy to find a new place. When can he kick him out? El imkein hodiu b'yemoisa chama. He has to first be modia him in the moisa chama shloshim yom. All of the hoidah has to be 30 days in the yemosa chama. It can't be. None of the hoidah can be in the yemosa in the winter months. So if he starts renting like after a month into the winter months, the hoidah had to have come earlier during the summer months. Shlo yarchiv lo azman mishiyikal zmanu, so that the person will know. V'hainu mites vav be'elul. So that's when you have to, if you want to kick him out during the winter months, if you're going to take him in, you have to tell him a full month before Chag HaSukkos, which is Tes Vav Elul. The Hainu Tes Vav Elul. Tzarich lo diu shloshim yom koydem hachag. Mamela shminin im kolu lo yemei schirusai b'yemoi sachama. And if his rent would be ending in the summer months, enu yochel lo tzio ad shloshim yom misha'odio. Also, you have to inform him also in the summer months, you have to give him 30 days. But for the winter months, you have to give him all the hoidah has to be in the summer. Im bolo tzio bizmano, and if it's his schirus ended and you want to kick him out then, tzarich li'odio shloshim yom koydem hazman, meaning in the summer. Ubekrochim, you have to tzarich li'odio yud beis chodesh koydem yitzias, before you want to kick him out. The im lo odio lo yotza, and if you didn't tell him, he doesn't have to go out. But he just keeps paying you as though he was paying before. So back in the Gemara, we said So it's Omar Rav Asi, Im Nichnas Yom Echad, B'Yemoisa Gesham. That's what we said. All of the Haidah has to be in the summer months. Then the Haidah won't help. And if the person is now renting in the winter months, he won't have to leave because he didn't have a full 30 days Haidah in the summer months. Einu yochel lotziu min ha'chag v'ad ha'pesach. We said 30 days before. This is what we have to learn. If one of those 30 days went and was part of the tkufa of the winter months, so but Omar Rav Huna ve'im bo l'rabos b'dameya marbe. And so let's say now in the case where he can't kick him out because he didn't inform him properly, and so the person can stay until Pesach, but his schirus really did end because they never spoke it out. So his schirus really ended after 30 days, but he can't kick him out because he didn't inform him. But he can raise the rent. Bo l'rabos b'dameya marbe, is allowed to increase the rent. Amalei Rav Nachman, Hai l'nakte b'koiv sayet d'lishavke l'glime. Doing that, allowing him to raise the rent. We don't want him to be able to kick him out. But by doing that, it's like he says, the nakte, you're holding on to the kuv sayet, to his beitzim. Kuv sayet is anything that hangs down. That means he's holding on to his beitzim, l'shav ke l'glima, in order to force him to give his jacket that he's wearing over. So there's no, by allowing him to raise the rent. Who? Lots, right. And there's Rashi says there's no better way of being able to be moitze him than that. Someone says, Lo tzricha diakor bate. No, he's allowed to raise the rent. He's not using it as a tool to get him out. It's because it's nicker that the rent raised everywhere. And the only reason he's asking for more rent is because the amount of rent went up. Not because he wants it to force him to get out. As long as it's nicker that he's raising it because the price of the rental unit, the market went up, then he's allowed to rent it. But to use the raising of the price to get him out, that he's not allowed. But since that it was in a case where it's clear that that's what the going rate is for the apartment, then he's allowed to raise it. One says, in the following din it's pashut. Pshita nofale beisa omale lo difat minai. A difat. If a person, the maschir's house fell down and he rented out his apartment, and it reached the end of the 30 days, and it's the winter months, and he hadn't informed him properly, and the soicher is able to stay because he wasn't informed properly. He's able to stay until Pesach. But the maschir's house collapsed. He has no place to live. He's able to kick the soicher out and to move into that apartment. Not able to kick him out. He's able to live with him. He can move in with him if it's possible. If it's not possible, then he's able to kick him out. Because the only reason he didn't inform him in time, the only reason that the soicher is able to stay living there is because the maschir didn't inform him in time. But the maschir says, I couldn't inform you in time because I didn't know that he didn't know his house was going to fall down. That's why he didn't inform him in time. Now that his house fell down, it's not right that the soicher should be in his house over the time of the schirus just because he didn't inform him, because the master didn't inform him in time. And the maschir who wasn't able to inform him in time because he didn't know that his house would fall down, has to be outside in the cold. So therefore, the Seicher has to let him stay in the apartment with him, if it's possible. If not, then the Seicher has to leave. However, if the time of the original rent didn't end yet, so then the master cannot go into the apartment. He has to stay outside. So that din is pashut, that it should be like that. And what about the case where Zavne or Urse or Yava b'matana? Let's say the master, after the time of the rent ended, but he can't kick him out because he didn't inform him in time. The master sold the apartment to somebody, or I guess he gave it. Or he inherited it over to somebody else, or he gave it to somebody as a matana. So now the Omalei lo adifat migavra de osis mine. So the Seicher is able to tell the new person that you're not going to have any better, more rights than the original master that I was renting from, and he'll have to deal with the Seicher in the same, according to the same klalim as the original master had to deal with it. Kale livrai. Let's say he married off his son, and he needs the house for a beit chasuna. Chazinan, we look. Ihabi efshar lo da. If it was possible to tell the soicher in advance to get out because he was going to be having a chasna, he would need the house. So iboyle lo dia, he would have the chiyuv to have done that. The ilo omarle lo adifat minai. But if he couldn't have informed him, he'll be able to, if it's possible, to have the new couple living there. If it's possible, if they have an extra place for them, or if they don't, then the soich will have to get out. Weiter. How garva dezavin arva dechamra. Person, he bought a boat full of wine barrels. Lo eshkach duchte leoisve. And he didn't know where to store them. So Omar lo lahi isa he asked a certain woman, Eslach duchta leoigre. Do you have a place that I can rent to store my wine barrels? So Omar le lo. She said she didn't have. Ozel kidsha. So he went and he married her. So Yava le duchta le'aile. So then she let him rent out a place. She gave him a place to rent and to put his barrels. Also, Lebesa, he went back to his house. Because of Lagit, and he wrote a get. Showed Allah, and he sent her a get. So he had a place for his barrels, and he didn't have the woman anymore. Also, the woman went. Ogra shkule mine ube. So she hired carriers, porters, with the money of with the barrels of wine themselves to get the barrels out of there. She gave them wine as payment. Afkise, that they took them out, and they put them in the road, and they spilled out, and they went to Ibud. Omar Rab Huna, Breda Rab Yeshua, Kashir Osa Ken Yase Lo Gmulo. Because he tricked her, she tricked him. That is Right. That she's potter, she's not going to be responsible for any loss that she caused him because he caused her a loss. Why? She also has a time. Gemulo Yoshe Baroisha, that his payment is like sitting on his head. He had that coming to him. Not only when he put it in, Lomi Boya Chotzer de Lo Kaima La Agra, not only if she gave him a place to put his barrels in a place that's not usually rented out, and she gave it to him, she rented it to him, a place like that. Even if what she rented out to him was a place that she normally rents it out, she still won't be responsible for having got emptied out all his barrels and having and the loss of the barrels spilled out also. Omrle lekuliyama shigro taina lekuliyama nicheli leugurai. I don't mind renting to other people, but I don't want to rent to you. V'loch lo nicheli. I don't like renting out to you. To domis olai ki aria arba, because you're doing to me like a lurking lion ready to pounce and to do damage to me. So she doesn't want a person like that renting out. So she has a right to get him out of her apartment, get him out of her storage place. That these types of business owners, if they're renting, the owner has to let them stay there for 3 years because many people buy from them on credit. Shlosh shani. Tana kifan miruba, because their credit they have a lot of credit from people, and the people have to be able to have time to get it back to the store owner. And we'll stop here.